Welcome to this session. This session, we are going to discuss subject calculus. I want to see how the subject was invented, who invented the subject, and why should we study the subject, and what are the main areas that this subject deals with. So we start by defining what subject means. So calculus is a branch of mathematics that deals with the finding and properties of derivatives and integrals of functions by methods originally based on the summation of infinitesimal differences. That's how we can define calculus, or we can say it's a branch of mathematics that explores variables and how they change by looking at in infinitely small pieces called infinitesimals. So that's how we can define calculus. There are two main branches of calculus. One is differential calculus and two integral calculus. So two main branches of calculus include, so one, differential calculus, and then two, integral calculus. So differential calculus deals with finding derivatives of functions or process of differentiation. Integral calculus deals with problems of finding areas under curve or techniques of integration. Then the subject was invented by two people. Two main people in the 17th century. So the first person was called Isaac Newton. Who lived from 1642 to around 1726 or 27. This was a British scientist. And then we have Godfrey Leibniz. This is from 1646 to 1716. This was a German scientist. So these two people developed the concept of the subject of calculus around the same time, but independently. So Isaac Newton developed the concepts, the principles of calculus. In the tradition of geometry, while Leibniz dealt mostly with symbolic mathematics. So Leibniz study mostly was more notation, while Isaac Newton developed the concepts from geometrical point of view. And then the four main pillars or the main question that all these scientists were interested in dealing with. So calculus grew out of four major problems. Mathematicians So these are the main 4 problems. One, the tangent line problem. Number 2, the velocity and acceleration problems. Number 3, the minimum and maximum problems. And then number 4, the area problem. So these were the main 4 questions that have led to the growth or development of calculus: the tangent line problem, velocity and acceleration problem, minimum and maximum problem, and area problem. So though Isaac Newton and Leibniz were the inventors of the subject, other mathematicians have also tried to help in providing these 4 main providing solutions to these 4 main problems. So some of these problems were solved by other mathematicians or other scientists after the invention of the subject by Newton and Leibniz. So we have what we call the person by the name Pierre Fermat. This scientist or mathematician lived from 1601 to 1665. And then we have what the person we call René Descartes. Lived from 1596 to 1650. And then we have Christian (1629, 1625). Then we have Isaac Barrow from 1630 to 1677. So these are some of the people who have also made some contribution to the subject of calculus, but the subject was majorly invented by the 2 scientists, Isaac Newton and Gottfried Leibniz. Isaac mostly dealt with explaining calculus concepts from geometrical point of view, while Leibniz mostly concentrated in solving calculus problems using special notations, like for this notation for differentiation. Now there are 10 main chapters in the study of calculus. So the main chapters or topics in the study of calculus One, we have functions. You can't study calculus without having knowledge on functions. And then another main chapter is limits. Limits and their properties and continuity. These are another major ingredient of calculus. And then number three, we have what we call differentiation. Once we have studied differentiation, then application of differentiation. Number five, we have what we call integration. And then number six, differential equations. So differential equations lies between the applications of differentiation concepts and integration concepts. And then we have applications. Of integration. And then number eight, we have integration techniques. So we also have improper integrals. Number nine, we have what we call infinite series. Number 10, we have what we call multiple integration. This includes both dealing with integration of a function of a single variable and dealing with function of a single variable and functions of several variables. So these are some of the main chapters that you need to study in calculus. And the reason as to why the subject is very key is because in the world we are living in, mostly things are changing, economies are changing, we have inflation, everything is changing, even the weather patterns, climate change, and many, many other things in the current world, they involve change. So this is a subject that I will help to explain how those changes occur and what are the possible causes of those changes and how we can use the changes to make some decisions or some policies. So the subject is most applicable in almost all the math areas. And so it will be of interest that you ensure that you have some good concepts in almost all these areas for you to be able to do your mathematics better. Thank you. And the next session, we're now starting to discuss some of the chapters in this subject, calculus.